Hello everyone, I'm Tamara Mokachina. Tell me if you know me. And I'm making this video because I'm sure that just like me, there is someone else who's going to want to hear this message, or who needs to hear this message. If you have a dream, you should stand up and or sit down, depending on what the dream is. I don't know, you could be drawing. You could need to be sitting for it. I don't know. I don't know what your dreams are. And that's kind of the point. Nobody has the ideas that you have, and nobody is as capable of doing those ideas as you yourself are. And I'm sure you've had that before. We've all had that before. It's very, it's something that gets passed around a lot as like generic guru advice. And I dismissed it when I first heard it in regards to what you're watching as background footage right now. What you're watching in the background is a mod that I am yet to release. It's called Mochaccino's SKULLTAM, and it's a port of the SKULLTAG invasion mode into GC Doom with a bunch of little added thingamajigs. And for the longest time, I had talked with friends about wanting to do this. I had talked with friends about how much I enjoyed the SKULLTAG invasion mode and how much I wanted it to be playable in GC Doom, and they were like, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you learn ACS or C script or decorate and just fucking do it? And I was like, oh well, I'm not really a coder. I'm not really that smart. I wouldn't be able to implement it. It would probably suck ass. The kind of thing that you say when you truly feel incapable of doing something. And for the longest time, that was the end of it. I didn't feel capable, so I didn't do it. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and more people in my life came and heard about my desire to play Invasion in Doom, and they were like, do it. And I'm like, no! And then they went, and as people do, people come, people go. And a couple of those people were convincing enough. They were like, well, you're working on this other thing. This other thing referring to the Tammy one, which is something that's out, you can play it. Don't, it kind of sucks. But you're working on this other thing. Why don't you make like a gimmick map? And I can help you with the code if you need it. And fucking fine. I'll try. And I did it. And I got it working, and it was Invasion. Not the greatest implementation of it technically, but it worked fine for gameplay. And then I went to, I was high on this rush of like, oh shit, I got it working. I want to make more. And then, because the implementation was great, I got frustrated, and I dropped it. And then it went back to being on the side again. And I just hoped and hoped and hoped that one day someone else would have the idea. And someone else would be able to implement it better than I could. And fucking guess what? Fucking no one did. No one holds like the interest in Invasion that I do, I fucking guess. Like, I know there's realism, but realism isn't the same. It's just not. You might say that it's improved, I say that it's not. I think that whoever made that mod should feel ashamed of themselves for making such an inferior. No, but yeah, it's just not what I was looking for. And time passed, and the dream never left my mind. It stayed there as a desire, and it festered and it festered, and it just kept growing bigger and bigger. And I just wanted someone to do it. Recently, I had come out to my family as a trans woman, and their reaction was not exactly great. For a couple months before entering university, I was in an awkward situation wherein we all knew that I was trans, but nobody really wanted to uh, treat me properly. No one wanted to recognize my name or my pronouns, and it felt really hurtful. And, you know, I had this growing sense of feeling uncomfortable at home, of feeling like there was something missing, like it wasn't right. And once I got into university, I had the opportunity to be myself in a public, like physical, real life space. And I took it. And it felt like I was the ruler of the world. For once, Tamara felt like a real person. And she didn't have to hide under a disguise anymore. And the experience, the gender euphoria, it pushed me to change my outlook of many, many things. And one of those things was creativity. I started going out of my comfort zone a lot more. I started making drawings that had more technical aspects to them. I started making music on a grander scale. Like, I started writing EPs, like full band, me sing, me guitar, me bass, me drum. And I also really doing like writing songs that way, but not as like serious things. Like I'm going to write an album. And because I had this feeling where I did the thing that I wanted to do and it felt great, coming out as a trans person in university. Okay, I'm going to start doing that more then. And that eventually led me back to this SKULLTAM invasion thing. And I'm like, okay, no one else has been able to have this idea. And if they have, they're in the same situation as me. They just don't know how to do it. I'm going to do it now. I feel powerful enough emotionally to do it now. And I started work on it. I picked up that old code from January 2023, and in July of 2024 I polished it up. I made a new map, and I got some of my friends to test it. And it was a little buggy at first, and that kind of sucked. But I wanted to do this. I knew now that I can do this. I can go out of my comfort zone. So I did it. I kept working on it. I kept polishing it. I made a new map. I made the code more readable, more workable. So if I need to fix something, I'll be able to do it more easily and not fall into the like the problem that Bob has with TF2, where the code is so messy that no one wants to touch it anymore. And now my ambition has grown. Now I not only want to make like the game mode, I also want to implement the power-ups from Skull Tag into it. And ooh, that was an issue. That was an issue because, despite the fact that I felt powerful and that I felt like I could overcome any difficulties now, subconsciously I was still like, okay, you're still not good enough to work C script or work decorate. So let's see if someone else has already had this idea, and let's see if you can use those power-ups instead of trying to learn, because you're not gonna be able to. You suck. And some people had the idea of porting SKULLTAM into a more modern framework. Um, I found this thing posted on the Doom forums. It's called SKULLTAM emulation, and I bet you're not gonna be able to guess what it does. And it worked, but it didn't really implement the power up that I wanted to use in the map 2 I was making at the time. I wanted to use the spread power up because I thought it was really cool. And it wasn't implemented then. So, okay. Let's see if someone else has tried it. I tried Ghost Tag content for Sandronum 3.0. And, Sandronum isn't GC Doom. It supports things that GC Doom doesn't. And as a result, this PK3 file doesn't really work either. So, okay. Let me see if someone has made this specifically for GC Doom, and I came across Skull Dash, made by Dragonfly. And in Skull Dash, there were the power-ups. They were implemented, and they worked. But I had an issue with that, and that's the credits part of the README. It says that you're not able to redistribute or reuse any of those assets for any reason. You can't use it as a base for modification or anything, so shit. And now left with what I felt, no other recalls. I was like, okay, this group of mothers, they don't want me to use their thing, so I'm not going to. I'm going to make my own thing. And I started working on it. And for 24 hours straight, I sat down on my computer and I learned C script and I learned ACS. And I ported those fucking sprites and I reported the decorate that was still readable from SKULLTAM. And I went through hours and hours of reading in the C Doom wiki. And I ported each and every last one of those fucking runes and those fucking power-ups, and I got it working. And it's working on GC Doom, and I have to go off publishing the mod as a resource for anyone that wishes to use it. Because I don't want other people to run into the same issue that I did. And you might notice that I'm speaking with a lot more authority now, and that's because even remembering this made me feel really good. And because I spent so long working on it, I was very loud about what I was working on. Now other people have seen what I'm working on, and they've shown interest in it. And they say, okay, can I make maps for this? It looks really fun. How do you map for this? Tell me, like show me. Can you teach me? And now this shitty little idea that I had when I was a 15-year-old is starting to become not only incredibly polished and fun to play, but it's also become something that's made people expand their horizons and do modding. And I think everything that I've talked about in these last few minutes is the importance of following your dreams. No one else is going to do your dreaming for you. No one else is has the same ideas that you do. And if they do, they don't do them the way that you want to see it done. So even if you feel that whatever project it is that you want to undertake is scary, is new, you shouldn't be afraid of it. You should go for it, because once you get it working, or you get it sounding good, or you get it looking good, you will feel accomplishment unlike anything else. And other people will see what you've accomplished, and they will go, I want to feel that way too. And as a result, you're going to start a positive feedback loop wherein people inspire people inspired by you. And I think that's beautiful. Whatever project it is that you have in your mind, you're good enough. You can make it. I promise. I need to go now, but I'll leave you guys with the rest of the gameplay. You might have noticed it's slightly cut. The original video of this is an hour long because I played on hard. Thanks for listening to me and my insane ramblings, and I'll see you on the flip side.